Britain's political class has a blind spot when it comes to Iran and its activities, a senior British MP has warned, despite the Middle Eastern state having backed insurgents who killed British soldiers in Iraq and having hacked the emails of lawmakers at Westminster. Robert Jenrick, a Tory politician who is a close aide to the Home Secretary Amber Rudd, wrote in the Daily Telegraph that while fellow members were up in arms about the imprisonment of Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe, they had paid little attention to other more egregious actions the state had carried out. Mrs Zaghari-Ratcliffe has been in jail in Iran since April 2016 after she was arrested while visiting relatives in the country. A British-Iranian dual citizen, she has become a political pawn as the regime in Tehran has looked to wring financial and other concessions from the British government in exchange for her release. It was reported last week that the Foreign Office was ready to pay off a decades-old debt of £400 million to smooth the path to freedom for Mrs Zaghari-Ratcliffe. Westminster is waking up to the reality that elements in Iran have meant us harm for some time, and that the nuclear deal we supported is silent upon much of it, Mr. Jenrick wrote. He noted that the House of Commons had never debated the 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, which saw the Iranians agree to halt their nuclear program in return for having sanctions lifted against them and their assets in the West unfrozen. Mr. Jenrick continued, in the preceding years the House of Commons had scarcely discussed Iran's support for armed insurgents in Iraq and Afghanistan who killed British troops with the deadly aides and the training Iran supplied. Nor had there been discussion about how Iran's Revolutionary Guard had been seeking to undermine British allies such as Israel and Saudi Arabia, or that the likeliest culprit behind a cyber attack that stole 9,000 of MPs' emails was the country. However, the case of Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe, the British lady held in Iran for no good reason, has finally captured Parliament and the nation's attention and forced us to examine how we hold Iran to account for its actions, Mr. Jenrick notes.